This is often not spoken about, but I want to tell you about it. Have you heard of the Roman scourging? It is recorded in the Gospels that after Pilate washed his hands of the demands of crucifixion by the chief priests and elders, Pilate scourged him and delivered him to be crucified. This is just stated in the Gospels, but the severity of the Roman scourging is found in history. To scourge, which is from the Greek phragello, was a brutal form of public punishment that was used across the Roman Empire. It was meant to bring the victim to the brink of death before execution, usually by crucifixion. But sometimes it was so damaging that the victims died during the punishment or right after the punishment. It was used on slaves and criminals, and by law, the Roman citizens were exempt from this form of punishment. The tool used for this form of punishment is known as the flagrum. It was made of sharp bones, glass and metal balls that were attached to the tip of leather strips extending from a wooden handle. This tool was so damaging and so feared that even the worst of troublemakers would quit when threatened with the Roman scourge. The punishment was administered by two specialized Roman soldiers known as the lectores, who would simultaneously lash the victim from both sides. The victim was stripped naked and their hands were affixed to a short stone pillar, allowing for maximum exposure of the body. When the Roman soldier would strike, the flagrum would usually wrap around the entire body, with the leather strips causing bruises and even further bruises from the metal balls. Sometimes the impact of those balls would fracture the ribs, damage the lungs, or cause rupture of the spleen or the liver. The sharp bones and glass would dig into the skin and the muscles, essentially attaching themselves to the body. For the whip to be recovered, the Roman soldier would forcefully pull the flagrum, which would then shred and peel off the skin and the muscles. Almost every part of the body experienced this kind of damage, from the face to the arms to the back to the chest, abdomen, the buttocks, the thighs, and the legs. And it was so painful that the victim would scream, begging for mercy, but there would be no hope of recovery. It is recorded that after repeated strikes, the bones at the back, blood vessels, deep muscle tissue, and even intestines would be exposed. The victim then would lose a lot of blood and fluid, causing them to go into a state known medically as the hemorrhagic shock, with associated multiple organ failure. Now, someone will ask, after how many lashes do they stop? Some people think that Jesus Christ received 40 strokes of the flagrum, but that's not exactly so. It was the Jews that had that kind of law. So by tradition, they limited whips to 39 strikes. But Jesus was flogged by the Romans, and the Romans did not have any such rule. So he likely received more than 40 strikes, with some sources stating that he might have received 120 or more. But the thing is that the Roman soldiers would only stop when their supervisors told them to, and this is usually when the victim is about to shake hands with death. It is also recorded that the victim would be so damaged and disfigured that they essentially look like a piece of meat. Now let me show you how bad it was in the case of Jesus Christ. Isaiah chapter 52 verse 14. It says that many people were shocked when they saw him. His appearance was so damaged, he did not look like a man. His form was so changed